Hey there, Heather. Hello there. Chef Cutter Down. We'll be back to Stone Cold Hockey 78-79 as we take a look at things, with the Boston Bruins and all that. We're hoping for better things to come. We are doing the 79 Bruins because, I have a soft spot for John Cherry and how he got fired over Harry Sinden being a brat. And of course, the too many man call. So far, we're doing pretty good. We're 4-0 in our division. Tops there. St. Louis and Chicago and the Rangers are the only other teams who actually have had 0 L's in their name. Still early, of course. Guy Chouinard and Don Lever have scored 5 goals. All that points leader is Gary Unger with 9. The veteran Wayne Thomas, Wayne Stevenson, and Jerry Cheevers are the top 3 in goals against. Pretty good, don't you think? Of course, we've only done 5 games. Everyone's done 4 or 5 games. Highlights. There's only one fan thing over 20. That's Washington over Atlanta 6-3. As Innes beat Bouchard. And the Flames were up 2-0 before giving up 6 of the last 7 goals. Yeah, Montreal losing to Atlanta 5-3 was shocking. Toronto losing to Reggie Lemelin. Mondu, Napier, and Lafleur from Montreal, but Atlanta goes by Bill Clement. Boy, Philly really rebuilt. John Pronovo, Eric Dale, Pronovo, and Ken Houston. Anyway, so we are going to be in Vancouver. We're going to be in Vancouver and on those pesky Canucks, and it will be Gilles Gilbert in net against Gary Bromley, who's the backup to Glenn Hanlon, and Doug Wilson's also in there too. So Gary Bromley doing his job for the Canucks, who changed their colors from blue and green. Our Boston Bruins, Rick Middleton, the man we fleeced from the Rangers for Ken Hodge Sr., Peter McNabb, great color commentator, RIP, John the Animal Wensick, Gentleman John Rattel, Wayne Crashman, Terry Taz O'Reilly, Don Murcott, Bobby Schmaltz, Al Secord, Bob Miller, who looks like Screech from Saved by the Bell, Dwayne Foster, Kitchener, Al Sims, Brad Park, who we fleeced from the Rangers as well, Dick Redmond, Rick Smith, Gary Doak, Stan Jonathan, Mike Shaker Walton. Stan Jonathan, the guy who cost the Bruins in the semifinals. He was the guy who took that too many men call. Tom Sungen, Dennis O'Brien, Mike Milbury, who was a youngster who was a top prospect, defense prospect, and basically Harry Sinden didn't think Milbury would amount to much. Bill Bennett also there. The Canucks, Rod Bauer, main scorer, but Kitchener, that's true. Don Lever, Fat Lever, Thomas Gradine, Kurt Frazier, Stan Spiel, Vancouver Icon, Yuri Gillis, Pitt Martin playing for the Canucks. I didn't know that. Chris Olofsson, Hilliard Grace, former Flame. Dennis Fairvegaard, Harold Snaps, a young Harold Snaps, Bob Mano, Rick Blake, Larry Goodenough. Man, Philly really selling these guys off. Brad Gassoff, Rab Tudor, Bill DeLargo, Future Leaf, Dennis Kearns, Lars Lindgren, Roland Erickson, Don Kozak, Jack McElhaney, who the Flyers got rid of, Randy Holt, and John Grisdale. 3 minutes into the game, aggression. For 2. Let's go. Kitchener. I know it's Jude Baker, whatever. 3 minutes in. Harkey. But we score. Stuck in the Middleton with you. His third from Rattel and Cashman. Does the bases 5 minutes later? He score. Gentleman Jean Rattel puts it in at 2-1. Schmaltz and Sims with the assist. 4 more minutes. Big battle, Boston and Vancouver. Boston and Vancouver would have the whole Cam Neely move. Aggression? that bit. It's Verbergert. Wednesday can't do anything, now can Redmond. And we get penalized. It's Stan Jonathan. Of course, if we would. But we kill the son on Seal Bauer and Derlergo. That's the score. Wednesday. 4 minutes later. LA on Boston. Crashman. Well, Crashman bumped into Yuri and gets the penalty. Whistle! Oh, we need to do something here. 2 minutes later, forfeit. We fight. It's 1 second. Snaps. I figured. 3 minutes later. Joel Bennett. From McNabb and O'Reilly. We're tied at 3. Can we get any youngsters up there? Chance for Middleton? No. Does it for Vancouver from Lindgren and Yarrett. 3 minutes later, we score. MacArthur Park, his third from O'Reilly and Miller. 4-4. Well, the good news is we tie the game. The bad news is it ends 4-4. The rules are simple. Boston and Vancouver get a tie. Joe Barron Bromley. The rules at the time were that overtime in the regular season would not happen, but would wait till the playoffs to have overtime, which is bullcrap because when they got rid of regular season overtime, it was 1942 because of World War II, and they never brought it back. And they didn't reinstate until 1984. So anyway, we are done. So unfortunately, the rules are for me is that the next Boston game has to be simulated. Well, the next game must be simulated. If we lose or tie, that's the rule. Others beat the Rangers, ending their undefeated streak. Washington beats Pittsburgh. Colorado finally wins a game. St. Louis finally loses a game. And Toronto beats Philadelphia. Boy, we must really suck. We play Chicago's battle of the two unbeatens. Montreal loses at home to Los Angeles. What? Rangers beat Toronto. Philly beats Atlanta. And Buffalo Vancouver tie. We tie Chicago 2-2. Shelburne and Tony O. Goals from Cashman and Foster. Kitchener for us, but Bordelot and Bully. So we're still unbeaten. We go into St. Louis. Atlanta beats LA 4-2. Others crush Philly 6-2. We go to St. Louis and we crush them 8-4 as Stankowski lost to Cheevers. St. Louis goes by Murdoch, Unger, Sutter, Bob Murdoch. If it's Bob Murdoch, we already had it. Gary Unger his 5th, Brian Sutter his 5th, and Federico his 2nd. So Gary Unger's still around. Here, Boston, our goals, Cashman his 5th, Marcotte finally scoring, Wednesday his 2nd, Milton his 4th, McNabb is 2nd, then McNabb, Dick Redmond, and Al Sims. So we went 8-4. So guess what? After 2 times we win, we're now 5-2, and we go on the road. Man, a lot of road games in 78 to start with. Chicago beats Washington. They're still undefeated. Detroit beats Colorado. Rangers beat Vancouver. Pittsburgh, Snowman, St. Louis, and Montreal, Toronto tie 5-5. You don't tie the Leafs. Boston at Minnesota, second game of our 3, and Shills and net against Shills Maloche. So the battle of the Shills. Gary Edwards and Pete Lopresti are your backups. Edwards did well for LA in the 75 season. For goals against. But now he's a North Star. The North Stars with a lot of Cleveland Barons on their team because of the merger. Well, anyway, Bobby Smith wasn't one of them. He was a great North Star. Then he became a Hab. Then he became a North Star again. Al McAdam, the hero in 1980 when the North Stars upset Montreal's drive for 5. Tim Young, Mike Fiddler, Steve Payne, pretty good player. Ground Sharpley, Chris Maneri, Ron Sanuzzi, not Joe Sanuzzi. J.P. Perese, who went back to the North Stars 4 years after the fact that the North Stars traded him to the Islanders and JP Parise sent the Rangers in the preliminary round. Gary Sargent, Brad Maxwell, Kent Eric Anderson, Tom Youngins, Per Olaf Brazar, Mike Pulich, Greg Smith, Sean Potvin. Man, I guess he didn't want to live in his brother's shadow. Jack Carlson, part of the Hanson brothers, Jim Roberts, Fred Barrett, Brian Maxwell, Alex Pierce, Jim McKinney. That can't be right. Bill Hogba and Bill Butters. Anyone knows it's Butters, not smooth. Early on, O'Reilly Wax Fiddler. And he scores. Budgeted arms his first from Smith and Sharpley. Where's Dennis Barak when you need him? 1 minute later, I put it. And he scores. Quick, Mary, and Barrett and Smith. What the hell? Are we going to lose this game? But we score somehow. Dwight Foster. Get a can of Foster's and say Kitchener for McNabb and Marcotte. 5 more minutes. They have a chance. Oh, Bobby Smith. 3 minutes later. They have a chance now. We score. Oh, McAdam. McAdam 12. McAdam 12. We're still going on. We're Sargent from McAdam and comes up 4-1. Game on beat streak. We should be winning these games. We're down 4-1. I refuse to lose. I gotta put Cheevers in the net. I have to. Payne gets whacked by O'Brien. And scores Bobby Smith from Sargent. Like, where the heck is this guy? Can we take advantage? Nope. And McNabb can't do anything. Damn it. He gets hit. JP Parise. Nope. Now 5-1. We're in deep trouble. I'm looking for something. Gary Doak scores. There you go. From Foster and McNabb makes it 5-2. A romping in Minnesota. 7-2. By the way, to end our unbeaten streak. That's 6 games. Foster scored a goal and an assist. Doak scored. How the hell did we lose 7-2? So the next Boston game must be simulated. LA beats Buffalo. Toronto loses to Philly. Others in Atlanta tie. Detroit beats Colorado. We're supposed to be at Maple Leaf Gardens. 3-3 Chicago, Detroit. LA beats Washington. Colorado beats Minnesota. Montreal shuts out the Rangers, who were looking so hot. Others shut out Vancouver. Atlanta, Pittsburgh tie. Buffalo, St. Louis. In Toronto, we lose 6-3. As Paul Harrison saves the day and the Leafs win their second game. Middleton, Redmond, and Sims were the goal scorers, but Toronto Jimmy Jones, John Anderson, Daryl Sittler, Dave Hutchinson, Bruce Boudreau, and Daryl Sittler. Man, that's another tough loss. Montreal, Chicago on a Sunday night tie. Pittsburgh beat the Rangers, and Philly shuts out Vancouver. Why didn't we do that? Islanders shut down Colorado. St. Louis beats Atlanta. Our next game, I don't know what our next game is. Philly beats Atlanta. Chicago shuts out Vancouver. Is that like 5 in a row for Vancouver losing? Chicago's still unbeaten. Holy shit. It's like, yeah, 3 straight games while being shut out. I saw that sneaky. Montreal beats Detroit. LA beats Toronto. St. Louis 7-6 over Minnesota. And Pittsburgh, Washington tied. So we host the Islanders, but because we lost, we had to autoplay. And we lose 5-3 as Chico Rush beats Cheevers. Boston goes Middleton with 2, Schmaltz finally scoring. Bourne with 2 goals, and Billy Harris, Dennis Potvin, Dennis freaking Potvin. Rangers beat Colorado. Washington beats Montreal. Wow. And Philly beats Buffalo. Atlanta beats Pitt. Vancouver scores a goal but loses the game. So we would face Philly, and we win 7-2 as Stevenson losing to Petty. What a Petty. Daly and Holmgren. Paul Holmgren, future head coach. And he did have a hat trick in the 1980 Stanley Cup Finals of real life. Our goals: Marcotte, Miller, Bennett, Foster, Kitchener, Cashman, McNabb. So we end our losing streak. Toronto goes to Colorado on a Saturday night and wins. Rangers shut out LA. Minnesota beats Buffalo. Montreal beats Atlanta. Washington beats the Islanders. Pittsburgh beats Detroit. And Chicago's unbeaten streak reaches 10 games. Not even the Habs can prove that much. So we face the Belle Provence. Buffalo beats Minnesota. Chicago ties again. That's their 7th tie. Rangers, Vancouver tie. Philly beats Colorado. And Washington beats Detroit. So we host Montreal, and we put Jim Petty in the net against Ken Dryden. It was like Gary Cheevers. Nope, we're gonna go with Petty in net because we might need him. Our third string goalie, their main guy Ken Dryden. This was his final season before thinking the NHL was too easy and retiring. Buddy the Rock is back up. Guy Lafleur, the Demon Blonde, especially in the playoff series against Boston. Steve Shutt, the high scoring left winger. Peter Mondeau. Oh, Mondeau. Mario Tremblay. That's what I feel about him. Yvon Lambert, who said for 24 hours I was more famous than Guy Lafleur. Jacques Lemaire, great guy, coaching the Trap. Bob Gainey, Selkie winner for Jeff as a forward 4 straight years. Rayshawn Peanut Hull. Larry Robinson, Kitchener. Point 2, Mark Napier, Doug Riceborough, Kitchener. Doug Jarvis, the Ironman. One of them, Pierre LaRouche, immature 50-goal scorer. Pat Hughes, Serge Sadat, Rick Chartra, Kitchener. Brian Engblom, Rod Langway from Taiwan. Sold to Washington, and he won a couple of horses. Yvonne Roadrunner Quinway, his final season. Jill Lupien, Cam Connor, and Dan Newman. So, double hit. 2 minutes later, Gainey, of all people. We sure do. It's Miller time. McNabb and Cashman. And we're going to come back. Middleton. Stop by Dryden. Montreal Skiers. He gained everyone's help. Gainey his 7 from Peanut. Bob Gainey. Penalty at point 2. Montreal delivers a hit to Wensick and kill on Schmaltz. 1 run at the 20. This would be the 3rd game of the day, right? Yeah. 6 minutes. John Natal, his 5th in Cashman. 2 minutes later, aggression. That's it for Steelers. John again from Milbury and Dennis O'Brien. Jean Rattel, we really are stealing him. 5 minutes later. We have a chance, but we stop him. 3 minutes later. And first hit, now we fight. It's Lupien and Stan Jonathan. No big deal, you'll be fine. I hope. Killing the clock. Montreal Steelers, Engblom from Mario Tremblay. I guess Engblom came late and was playing. I was like, where did Engblom come from with this stuff? 1 minute later. Say goodbye. Mike Shaker, welcome from Terry O'Reilly. The Walton song. Yeah, I can't do the anthem. 5 minutes later. Touchdown, fumble. McNabb from Riley scores. Peter McNabb from Riley, 5-2. Get bent, Ken Dryden. Get bent. Penalty. and they can't score. So we win 5-2 over the Canadians, which is like amazing what we could do. Jim Petty, dude must be undefeated or something like that. Miller, Rattel, Walton, McNabb, Van Blom, and Gainey from Montreal. I need to investigate. Yeah, he's 3-0. Guy's 3 for 3. Huh. Atlanta beats Vancouver, Minnesota beats the Cupcakes, and Toronto beats St. Louis. So our next game, we don't know. Chicago still unbeaten. That's 12 in a row to start. 5 wins, 7 ties. And Montreal loses again to Washington. What is wrong with them? We get Washington, who are no pansies, if you call them. Anyway, we lead the Adams division over Minnesota and Toronto. Buffalo's fighting it out. Toronto, they're 0-5, and they've come alive in a sense. In the North, it's Montreal, Washington, Pittsburgh, LA, Detroit falling back. Chicago, St. Louis, and Vancouver in the Smythe. Colorado's only a point back. Philly, Islanders, Rangers. Philly's like, we don't need you at all. Yeah, Cheevers and Chaubert. Not good goals against, 3.45. Gary Bromley has only won once in 10 starts, and he has a 2.73 goals against. Ken Dryden's 1-4-1. Look at that goals against 2.51. Are you kidding me? How the hell can he have that bad of a goals against, and yet he's 1-4-1? It boggles the mind. Don Edwards has a better goals against, and he's 2-5-1. How? I don't get it. Yeah, Billy Smith has the goals against Lazard and Wayne Thomas. So something has to be going on. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do